Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Larry Lumsden. Let's take a look at the headlines. Government encourages citizens to live healthy at Health Awareness Program. Taruba Link Road to San Fernando completed. Food and beverage industry to raise standards of food safety. In our top story, Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honorable Glenn Ramadasinghe, is encouraging citizens to live healthy. This as the ministry hosts a health awareness program at the National Academy for the Performing Arts in Port of Spain.
Your health is important. This is the message being sent by the Ministry of the People and Social Development and its new social motivator, Rajesh Durbal. Durbal, a triple amputee with TNT roots, partook in the ministry's health and wellness fair at the National Academy for the Performing Arts, which began with an invitational 5K run. Despite the wide cross-section of participants, Minister Ramadasinghe is particularly urging young professionals to not take their health for granted. He points out that the statistics for Trinidad and Tobago are bleak, with many young people now running the risk of developing non-communicable diseases at an even younger age.
At 40% of our population do not get sufficient physical exercise. 90.8% eat less than the recommended 5 servings of fruit and vegetables daily. 65% of persons aged 45 to 64 have 3 or more risk factors for non-communicable diseases. And 50% of the persons aged 24 to 64 have 3 or more risk factors to non-communicable diseases.
Minister Ramadasinghe says the future of the country lies in the ability of its people to start living healthy lives.
The Ministry of Health has been on record to say that besides diabetes over the past few decades, we have been seeing an alarming rise in the number of persons developing heart disease, cancers, and suffering strokes. We must be the change that we want to see in the world, according to Mahatma Gandhi. And that change must start now. We must live in the now. We must act with fervent dispatch to the necessity of action now for our young people and for the future of Trinidad and Tobago.
Meanwhile, Minister in the Ministry of the People and Social Development, the Honorable Vanilla Allen Toppin, is urging women in particular to ensure they see about their health. She explains that often women neglect their health while ensuring the health of their child or children. She reminds women, however, that if they are unhealthy, they will not be able to properly care for their children and other loved ones. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
In other news, commuters traveling to San Fernando are now free to pass along the Taruba Link Road to get to the southern city. This as the roadworks has completed and Works and Infrastructure Minister Dr. Surajratan Rambachan officially opened the thoroughfare.
The Taruba Link Road has officially opened to the driving public. The dual-lane carriageway which links the Solomon Hochoy Highway to the San Fernando Bypass Road was in need of repairs and reinforcements, as it has been the site for unstable road surface and many land slippages in years gone by. Works and Infrastructure Minister Surajratan Rambachan explained the details that went into the project and commended the contractors for the job done.
This project here in Taruba is a very exciting one. As you have heard, it cost $61 million. It was completed on time within 11 months, and I want to congratulate the contractor for your management of the project and for keeping it within the cost. It was not a simple project. What you are seeing is the finished project, but one must always understand what goes into the making of this project. It's 860 linear meters of roadway, which I believe is about 2,700 feet of roadway. It involved the upgrade of the Taruba Link Road by rehabilitating the sub-base, removing and replacing it with suitable material, reinforced with geogid, the construction of a dual carriageway inclusive of shoulders.
MP for the Area Labour Minister Errol McLeod says the road provides an easier access for residents in the district and students attending the UTT Taruba campus.
Many thousands of people traverse these roads coming from the deep south, going into Port of Spain, people from Princestown and other areas coming this way and so on, and it was necessary that we do this piece of work which we are inaugurating today. So that as a result, ladies and gentlemen, of the rehabilitation works that we have done on this Tarouba Link Road, access to the University of Trinidad and Tobago's campus, for instance, just around the corner, has been improved.
Minister Rambachan assured the structural works done were of durable quality and constructed by local contractors.
The completion of this rehabilitation work brings to an end a problem that has plagued commuters into and out of the Southland, one might even say since time immemorial. And it is only because the People's Partnership Administration had the political will to do what was necessary that this challenge was taken on head-on and a solution found. Of course, time will tell how good this solution is, and time will also tell us about how well it stands up to the challenges of the weather and the other conditions, preconditions that we sought to rectify on this particular segment of roadway.
The Works Minister, who also doubles as a local government minister, assured the residents of additions to their current recreational ground. He also commended the residents for their cooperation in getting the road built.
I want to express the gratitude of the government of Trinidad and Tobago and the gratitude of PURE, headed by Mr. Hayden Phillips, for the cooperation that they gave to us during this construction phase. They demonstrated a high level of citizen responsiveness and citizen dedication to country when they met on several occasions with Ms. Stacey Rupnarine and with Mr. Hayden Phillips to iron out problems with respect to the use of small land space on their playground. For this, I want you to know we are thankful, we are grateful, and we do owe you quite a lot for that. And in this regard, apart from the works that have been done on your grounds, the washroom facilities that were promised have been designed and will soon be constructed.
The construction of the Tarouba Link Road is just one of the many infrastructural roadworks taking place across the country. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar recently announced plans to construct the Valencia Highway to Sangre Grande, while works done in the vicinity of Grand Bazaar are expected to complete in the near future. Kimberam Kalawan, News 4.
It took just 5 days and a team of well-skilled local and foreign doctors to significantly reduce a backlog of patients awaiting heart surgery. The NCRHA is today praising the team that has set a new standard at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex.
There has been a significant reduction in the backlog of patients on the angioplasty surgery waiting list at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex. According to the North Central Regional Health Authority, 68 patients received angioplasty procedures at the Medical Sciences Complex during a 5-day period. The NCRHA praised a team of specialist doctors and technical specialists spearheaded by consultant cardiologist Dr. Colin Nath, who was instrumental in the recently concluded procedures. Doctors associated with the International Sai Baba organization expressed their pleasure at having worked with Dr. Nath and his medical team. The team of local and foreign doctors also comprised a team from Fort Lauderdale, as well as 3 cardiovascular assistants and 10 nurses. They were hosted by the Paladi brothers, who also donated the stents required for each surgery. NCRHA Chairman Dr. Shienaz Mohammed stated that the authority is at present building the in-house capacity to execute these surgeries on a continuous basis, and the authority is fully committed to meeting the needs of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Up next, raising food safety. Stay with us. Welcome back. The United States of America has taken an active stance in ensuring there's a high level of food safety on its domestic market and also regarding food imports. As such, key players in Trinidad and Tobago's food and beverage industry are preparing to raise their standards to treat with this move.
The Food and Beverage Industry Development Committee on Monday held its Food Safety Modernization Act stakeholders consultation. The event, which took place at the Hilton Trinidad and Conference Center, was geared toward public sector enterprises in Trinidad and Tobago. The other agencies that made the event possible included the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment, Exportiti, the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association, the Embassy of the United States of America, Port of Spain, and the American Chamber of Commerce of Trinidad and Tobago.
Exporting food and beverage to the United States is extremely critical to the sector. While we try to develop markets in Latin America, in Central America, and continue our exports to CARICOM, we will recognize that the United States market is still one of the major markets for Trinidad and Tobago's food and beverage industry. The legislative changes that surround the Food Safety Modernization Act represents one of the most sweeping sets of changes that have been made in the food and beverage legislation in the United States.
Mr. Gosain said if Trinidad and Tobago's manufacturers and exporters wanted to be a part of the game, they had to understand the rules of the game and learn how to play it. He said the Food Safety Modernization Act was not new, but rather was in the making for quite some time, and Trinidad and Tobago should have been ready to treat with it. Monday's event was the start of a week-long list of activities which will sensitize persons to the Food Safety Modernization Act, which will redound to the benefit of current and future exporters to the U.S. market and the entire country by extension. Assistant Regional Director of the United States Food and Drug Administration Latin American Office, Dr. Carmen Booker, is currently in Trinidad and Tobago to tour several local facilities and assist the public and private sector in meeting the requirements of the FDA's Act.
The United States and Trinidad and Tobago enjoy a long-standing trade relationship that extends into many different sectors of the economy. Trinidad and Tobago's food processing and packaging industry plays an important role in sustaining this bilateral relationship due to the many goods that Trinidad and Tobago export to the U.S. market. The United States appreciates the high-quality products that come from Trinidad and Tobago and the care with which they are produced and packaged with. Building on the trust that our long-standing trade relations have created, the United States desires to engage and collaborate with Trinidad and Tobago producers, manufacturers, and exporters to ensure the continued safety of food products destined for U.S. consumers.
If local producers, manufacturers and exporters do not comply with the Act, they will be debarred from entering the U.S. market or have their products retained. For more information on the Act, persons can visit the FDA's website at www.fda.gov. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
When it's nice, you do it twice. That's just what the Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs has done as it prepares to launch a second phase of a data collection exercise to show how citizens' electricity bill could fall significantly if they replace their incandescent bulbs with fluorescent bulbs.
1 week after launching a major drive to educate the population about energy, the Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs has embarked upon yet another phase of the project. This coming Saturday, the ministry will hold round 2 of the initiative, this time at the Felicity Presbyterian School. Last Saturday, 25 families from Penal received compact fluorescent bulbs from the ministry as part of a light bulb exchange initiative pilot project. The launch took place at the Penal Rock Road Hindu Primary School and is a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Energy and the University of the West Indies.
In Trinidad and Tobago, as long as we know ourselves, we've been using incandescent bulbs. That is your round bulb that you have in your house. Now, those bulbs generate a lot of heat. If sometimes you put a bulb on in a room and the room actually becomes hot. And it is because 90% of the energy that is used in that bulb goes to heat, is lost as heat. And 10% is used for lighting. So it's a very inefficient process. And what has been happening in the world is that those bulbs are being phased out in the world. Australia has now banned incandescent bulbs. And I was told by this morning that in Dominica, a country not far from here, that the government has gone into everybody's homes and they have taken out all the incandescent bulbs in the homes in that country, and they have given the population what is it called, Randy? The CFL bulbs, which is the curly bulb that you see in the grocery these days. And that, of course, leads to great energy savings for the country, which means saving in money.
The 25 pre-selected households were required to fill out questionnaires and be interviewed about the possibility of getting their entire home's bulbs replaced with energy-efficient ones. They also had to work with the last 2 months of their electricity bills, and at the end of the project, they will provide the next 2 months of bills, which will be used for comparison. The ministry, along with UWI's physics department, will be studying the homes to determine if there is a reduction in their electricity bills due to the use of the fluorescent bulbs. The Honourable Minister says that energy is taken for granted in Trinidad and Tobago because there is so much of it.
Energy touches every single thing we do in Trinidad and Tobago. And what I think that we have to do in Trinidad and Tobago is adjust our relationship with energy. And this program here this morning is a step in that direction. In that we have to begin to conserve energy, because the more we conserve energy is the more we have to export. So if we clamp down on the illegal diesel trade, as we've been doing, it means that we have more diesel for Khalid to export. And if Khalid is exporting more diesel, he's getting more foreign exchange for the country. And it's the same thing with electricity. If we save electricity, we are saving natural gas. And if we save natural gas, our reserves will last longer, and we will have more natural gas to export to get more foreign exchange to build more beautiful schools like this.
Minister Ramnarayan says his ministry is considering talking to the Finance Ministry to initiate a series of incentives to replace all the incandescent bulbs used in this country. He says there are no local companies that manufacture the incandescent bulbs, which means that the phasing out of the bulbs will not mean a loss of jobs. The pilot initiative was the first of 3, with others expected to take place in Central and North Trinidad as well as Tobago before the end of the year. Those who attended the function were privy to light bulb exchanges as well as fun and educational activities on energy conservation. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Up next, more from Soca Warriors at the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Welcome back. Time for sports. TNT senior men's national football team are now preparing for the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Gold Cup competition, where they will face regional heavyweights Mexico. Following the game that got the team into the finals, News 4's Wayne Cunningham caught up with one of the game's goal scorers, striker Kenwin Jones, for this exclusive interview.
News 4 Sports at the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Courtesy the Ministry of Sports and the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago.
Your feelings on the win and the advance into the quarterfinals?
Yeah, we're pretty happy. You know, I think it was the last time was about 13 years before we got anywhere that close. You know, I'm happy for the team, for the coaching staff, for the playing staff. You know, and happy for myself and happy for the country.
Your performance on the field today was stellar. You know, you captained the team well, you led from the front. You know, tell us that aspect of the game, what that meant to you.
Well, I mean, regardless of the captaincy, I think, you know, within myself, it's always natural to try and lead, you know, because I guess the game more or less rests on the shoulders of the strikers. So I try my best to you know, to get the team going and keep them in the game. With the captaincy, is just, you know, a bit of added responsibility, and I was happy that I was able to carry that out tonight.
The team looked at the front team tonight. I mean, the hustle was there. You know, you're seeing some. They even shocked me. You know, tell me what you'll attribute that to.
Well, you know, sometimes in preparation for matches and things, you know, when you have too much time, you tend to not know what to do. And maybe for us, maybe our preparation in between the El Salvador and Haiti game was maybe a bit too strenuous, or maybe not enough. You know, that probably attributed to the performance we had then. But tonight, of course, with the shorter time, the amount of recovery we had, and also with the value that was on the game, I think you know, everyone knew that we had to put out an effort. I guess it's probably a better effort than we had against El Salvador, but you know, I'm thankful that we pulled together as a team and put that out tonight. I am happy for the people that came in the team, the Abu Bakr, the Daniel Cyrus, the the Kevin Molino, Andre Boucard, we changed up the team, and it worked. This is definitely what we needed, and for the pressure that was on the match, I think everything worked out, and we're happy for that.
News for Sports at the CONCACAF Gold Cup, courtesy the Ministry of Sports and the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, Wayne. We've got much more news for you. Stay with us. Welcome back. Government is keeping its promise to citizens to ensure Pillar 2 of its main policy document is realized. This as the National Commission for Self-Help embarked on a distribution of grants to help in repairing their homes. More in this report.
Local Government Minister Dr. Suraj Ratan Rambachan says government is committed to improving the lives of all citizens in the country. He gave the assurances over 25 residents of Central Trinidad received self-help grants from the National Commission for Self-Help. Each grant is worth $10,000 and will fund repairs of the recipient's home through a purchase order issued to a hardware supplier. Dr. Rambachan said this project is geared toward assisting those who are less fortunate.
The budget for the National Self-Help Commission is approximately $40 million a year. That is what it has to work with. And when you consider, in the scheme of things and the kinds of needs and demands which people have in this country, that is a very small sum in order to fulfill the many needs that people have or the hundreds of requests that come before the National Self-Help Commission. The Commission has been working, however, to ensure that though it has limited funds, that these funds are distributed equitably and fairly, and that the funds distributed are distributed in such a way that it represents all the communities and all the districts of the country.
Chaguanas Mayor Orlando Nagisa commended the Minister for the outreach toward the residents through the program.
30 of you here this morning who are selected to receive these grants is cases that are very, very deserving. And I'm certain he has taken his committee has done a lot of homework in arriving at the grants to be delivered here this morning. I hope that you will make good use of these grants, allow it to reflect your love for the Self-Help Commission and the government of Trinidad and Tobago for initiating a program like this that will be continued, as he mentioned. The program continues.
Persons also in need of labor for conducting repairs to their homes can also request this service. According to Minister Rambachan, URP groups have been designated to assist grant recipients.
Through the URP program, we'll be able to help you with some of the labor that you need in order to do the homes. People say URP labor is used for all kinds of things, but I want to tell you, under my watch, URP labor is being used for very productive and very important activities.
By September this year, over 100 persons would have received grants under the NCSH, providing improvement works to citizen homes across Trinidad and Tobago. Kimberly Kalawan, News 4.
And that story brings us to the end of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Larry Lumsden. Thank you for watching.